Hello, welcome back to our environment project. We're working on our chandelier. We're getting this kind of center structure in place. We have this kind of leafy bit here, and we're going to make another leafy bit kind of going along on either side of the small leaf, a larger leaf. So we're going to do something similar. We're going to go back to my left side view, which is the side facing what we're looking at here. Show my grid again. Go back to Mesh Tools, Create Polygons. I'm going to again create like another leaf shape with the Create Polygon tool. So let's see, I want to kind of make a half of it like I did before. And this one's a much larger leaf. I'm going to kind of flare up like this. Something like this. And it's kind of round and bumpy up through here, and it kind of has a dip in the middle. But I think, let me undo these actually. If we look at it and just thinking about how I'm going to use the bend deformers again to kind of get that shape, I'm going to actually have it kind of more like this. Hit enter. Okay, so we have this. So we can duplicate it, scale -1 in the z-axis, then we have both, and we can go to mesh, combine, merge these vertices together where they are combined together, edit mesh, merge. Okay, now I go to mesh tools, insert, no, multi-cut is what I want, and we're going to cut it across here just like we did with the other leaf, give it some geometry that we can work with. I missed that point. Make sure I get on the vertex when I click so I don't make a new vertex. Just want to use the existing ones. So this is going to eventually kind of droop over similar to the other leaf that we have. Now we can go to edit mesh extrude and gives it that thickness like this. Okay. So once again I want to use bend deformers. I think it's going to be the best way to get the shape the way I want. So with the object selected, I go to deform nonlinear bend. In the inputs, I'll increase that curvature. You can kind of see that result. And then again, I'm going to rotate the bend deformer so it's bending more like this. Because I want it to bend along with that curvature that we have with our structure over here. Okay, so I can delete the history there, so that keeps that curvature. And now what I want to do is I'm going to grab the vertices along the upper section here, create another deformer, for another bend deformer, and apply curvature to it so we can kind of see what happens. Let's go the other way. And I want the low bound to be 0, and we can lower our bend deformer down like this to kind of get this to flare out some. So again, we can adjust our curvatures to get what we want. We can increase our curvature. Also might need to increase our high bound so it curls more. So we kind of have something like this. Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll delete that history because we're going to keep this, I think. Let's see. And then what else can we do? We can, let's go ahead and move it into place. So I'm going to hold down the D key and move my pivot point up to here or so. And let's move it into place and see what needs to be done. So it needs to be down here. So it's a little too wide. I can see that right away. We can maybe scale that in. Let's kind of rotate it this way And the idea, it also needs to kind of flow with the geometry, since we're not working on the grid so much anymore now. We're kind of going to have to wing it a little bit and kind of get it positioned right. And once we have this one positioned, we can mirror it for the other side. So it needs to be something more like, let's see, maybe it's too tall. Let's try scaling it a little bit. Don't want to do too much because we'll get too much of a deformed result. Let's grab these vertices and scale them in a little bit. So something like this. So then we can grab these vertices here, maybe move them down, and I'm going to apply a bend to them. Deform, nonlinear bend, increase our curvature so I can see what's going on. Let's take the high bound to 0 and move it up here and adjust the curvature so it goes in like this. So again, just kind of adjusting this shape so it kind of does this kind of thing. So it kind of wraps through into the alcove. And again, we're going to do like a blend in to the geometry like we did with the other leaf. Still seems kind of wide maybe, so I'm going to go to the form lattice. And let's adjust let's do this, so 4 U divisions and 1 T division. So we have these kind of quadrants. And I'm going to grab these lattice points and maybe scale them in. Just so we're not doing too much of the overall shape at once. So we can work with something like this. Let's delete all the history. So now we have that. Just hide the grid for now. The idea is going to be is that this will blend into the object again. So let me duplicate this one, hold J and rotate it 45 degrees. So we have something like this. Okay. And then this object, I'm going to group, duplicate, hold J and rotate it 45 degrees. And duplicate that group again and rotate it 45 degrees the other way. So now we have all 3 in position like this. I'll go to edit, ungroup. I'm going to remove the groups because they can get kind of funky sometimes. Okay, so now we have this kind of thing. So in order to get this to blend in nicely here, what I want to do is actually blend these 2 objects together first. I'm going to hold Alt H to hide everything else. So now I have these 2 pieces here. I'm going to go to Mesh Combine. So now I've combined them together. And we're going to start merging these vertices. Edit Mesh, Merge to Center. So I'm just going to do them one grouping at a time. I think it'll just be easier than trying to fight with the merge settings to get everything to merge properly on one setting. But I don't think it will because of different thicknesses of edge loops and stuff. Make sure I don't select too many. There we go. And since this is the inner part of this alcove, I want to make sure that it's all going in. Don't have these points coming out. Something like this. We can adjust this more. Okay. And let's see. Control Shift H to bring everything else back. So this, what I would like to do, I'm going to grab this edge loop right in the, I want to grab these edges in the back actually, and I'm going to move them to kind of make this thickness right through here. And so I think I'm going to delete these faces, and then these I'm going to snap these points into these places here. Something like that. We can delete these faces on the bottom of my leaf thing. These two faces probably can go also. Okay, and then these vertices here, snap that to this point. We can show the grid points if it makes it easier. Like that. Okay. And we're not done yet, don't worry. We can probably delete these faces here also. Delete that. And then we can have these points snap up here. And again, we're just kind of merging these in. Okay. Grab these two edges here and start working in some curvature here. A little bit off, so I'm going to grab both of these. I'm going to go ahead and combine them, mesh combine, and I'm going to merge these vertices, edit mesh, merge. Because of that default threshold, all the ones that are on top of each other should merge together. Okay, I'm going to go to Mesh Tools, Multi-Cut. Start from this point, go to here, kind of cut across to here, and to that point there, hit enter. Just kind of make this edge loop right through here. So yeah, just going to try and blend this in a little bit. Just kind of adjust these curvatures so they kind of blend nicely, flow a little bit. It just takes some pushing and pulling points around till you get what you want. I'll grab my leaf structure here, and I think I need to, might be a little off my rotations. And we are getting to a point where we might be getting a little too nitpicky with smaller details that aren't going to be noticeable too much from the distance that we're looking at it from. So something like that then. Okay. Alrighty, and now we don't actually need these pieces. I just put them there for our guide purposes. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to delete the history for all this stuff. And I want to actually go through, I want to do some bevels like I did here. Let's see if we can get them to look clean enough. Let's grab this loop through here, and I'm going to actually move it up. Now we're not working on the grid anymore, so it's a little bit off. We could rotate our model around if we needed to. Go to Edit Mesh, Bevel. Okay. Let's go to Display, Mesh Display, Soften Edge, just kind of see what that looks like. So you can see it kind of just flows through here, which is what I wanted. Alright, let's see if they bevel decently. Edit mesh. Bevel. That's not too bad. Right. This point here will snap to that point. Same on the other side. Grab these vertices, go to Edit Mesh Merge. Merge those together like that. And then up here, I want to do a similar thing I did before. I'm going to grab these edge loops and bevel them to give them so not quite so hard edged. Okay, right through there, looks alright. And then where these edge loops are kind of converging here, we can grab those and merge the center. Edit mesh, merge the center. Okay. Delete that history, and we can get rid of this little edge loop here. Edit mesh, delete edge. We can try and bevel this outer edge also. And the main edges we're worried about are these up through here that you can kind of see more easily. Edit mesh, bevel, not too bad. And right through here, we're going to grab that edge right there, edit mesh, and edit mesh, collapse. And then this vertex we will point snap to here, and we'll merge that together, edit mesh merge. The same on the other side. Grab that edge, edit mesh, collapse. Grab this vertex, point snap it to this one. We're going to merge those together, edit mesh merge. Alright. So there's a portion of our centerpiece. So I'm going to duplicate, hold J while I rotate. So this goes right there. So you see it's overlapping a piece of this that that already exists. Okay. So what I would like to do is I'm going to grab the faces that exist already and delete them. So we have just the portion that we want to copy over for the rest. And right through here, we're going to need to kind of replace this portion with what we have in our new piece. Then we go back to this one and delete these extra faces that we don't need. Don't need those. So let's see. Turn on 4 for a wireframe, we might be able to see a little better. click on this, then click on that. So yeah, it's pretty good representation. Alright, so we can duplicate this, again holding J and rotate this around. And we want to go to right here. And we'll do it again for this piece here. We're going to just kind of delete these extra faces we don't need. And now that this one's already done, we can duplicate it, rotate with J, we can delete that one actually, since we're going to be replacing it with this new version of this. So now they all kind of fit together like that. Hopefully you can kind of see where this is going. See that? Then right through here we're going to do the same kind of thing where this piece will delete these faces that this piece has. Alright, I think that's all of it. So we have something like this. That's kind of cool. So then what we need to do is combine all the pieces together. Make sure we didn't miss any extra faces that we need to delete or whatever. Fill in any gaps. So yeah, we're going to see this again. Don't forget, we're going to see it like way up in the air above the ballroom. We're going to have these arms all around it. It's going to be pretty cool, I think. So let's go ahead and grab all these pieces. We're going to go to Mesh, Combine. We're going to go ahead and go to grab all these vertices and go to Edit Mesh, Merge, and any of them that are right on top of each other should merge together. We're probably going to have some that we need to go in and find and kind of fine-tune individually. Right through here, looks like. So these two verts right here need to merge together. So we can go to Edit Mesh, Merge to Center, and we'll have to do that for all of them probably. Yep. Hopefully, if we did everything right, hopefully we won't have too many of these, and it shouldn't be too hard to just kind of go through and clean them each up. I'm just hitting the G key to redo the collapse to center command. Alright, let's see if there's any other obvious holes or gaps anywhere. Just kind of observing. And if I don't see any pretty soon, it typically will mean that there's not any. Since they're all duplicate portions, they should all be kind of the same. So yeah, this looks pretty solid, I think. Obviously this stuff in here doesn't really matter too much. We're not really going to be looking at it. Everything's kind of coming from above. And then we are going to need to transition this in. So in order to fill this gap, what I'm going to do is just grab this upper edge loop and go to Edit Mesh, Extrude, and I'm just going to kind of pull it up and scale it in just to kind of fill that gap. And I'll grab this edge loop again and go to Mesh Display and Soften Edge. Like that. Okay, well, so yeah, that doesn't look too bad. I think we can delete the history. Let's just try a smooth, see what happens. So this is a mesh smooth applied. So there's definitely some details that we can model in, but we can also use texturing to get a lot of those details as well. So again, yeah, I'm just kind of looking at it from the view we're going to have. Let's go ahead and do like a little test with our arms here with our light fixtures. I'm going to duplicate and group that and scale it -1 in the X to put one over here. Then I'll go to edit ungroup to get rid of the group for that one, and then grab all of this and group that together. Group, duplicate, rotate, hold down J, 45 degrees, shift D. Booyah. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So again, let's unhide our door and column here. First, let's grab all this and group it, unhide our door and column, and we'll kind of just move it up here. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Still got a lot of work to do, but I think we definitely made some headway today. That big centerpiece looks pretty nice, I think, especially when we have like some kind of bronze material on there and get some lighting in here. Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty sweet. But we still want to do all the little details. Still need to, let me undo all this stuff while I talk. We still need to actually make all the arms look the way they should look. Okay. So we still want to, get these arms to blend in through here. And then beyond that, let's look at the picture real quick. We also have the upper, like a second row of lights that are above those lights. And then there's also the centerpiece isn't done yet. There is like a center column with that comes up through here, that attaches to the supports that are going to the ceiling, all that kind of good stuff. But I think we're definitely getting there, getting closer. Yeah, looking good. So guys, I will talk to you later. Hope you're enjoying the series and getting something out of it. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you later.